Right, welcome back. You're still watching SA Today. Now, I've got to give you a bit of background of our next story because whilst everyone was busy trying to leave China and particularly leave Wuhan to come back home to South Africa at the height of the COVID-19 crisis in China, one young man was actually getting on a plane from South Africa to go to China. He joins us now on the line. Ofentse Modiselle has been in China now since the 8th of March and has gone through quite a number of testing and quarantining ever since his arrival. In fact, on his way was actually a bit of a journey as well. The Chinese are taking no chances whatsoever, literally from the moment he got to the airport and all the way from to where he was taken to where he's staying. And then he was quarantined for, I think, 2 weeks before he was even allowed to start work. Well, he joins us now on the line from China to give us an update of how life has been and how things have changed in China. Ofentse, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Good to talk to you again on the program. So it was a difficult journey going and settling in the country, but I guess given that China was the epicenter of the COVID-19 virus, the authorities took all precautions with you. So it's been a heavy quarantine, but you are now out and about. How have things been since you've been released from quarantine?
Actually, to be honest with you, I'm probably the happiest person on earth currently. I have been out of quarantine for the past 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I'm able to move around freely, and everything is back to normal. Like, for instance, China itself has been back to normal for the past month now. However, temporarily so. Obviously, when new arrivals into
Yeah.
different cities, when you enter a city, you still do get quarantined. So it has restricted traveling. However, everything is back to normal, and I'm just a happy chappy now.
All right, talk to us about what normal means. I mean, are you out in the streets with masks still? Is there social distancing still being practiced?
Yeah, unfortunately, precautions still need to have to be put in place. Our lives still matter. We still take our lives very seriously. So we yes, we do wear masks on a daily basis. You cannot leave it. You'd be risking your own life if you had to leave. However, even if in a city such as Shinin, there hasn't been too many cases reported, but precaution is still key.
And everybody very compliant. I guess the authorities there quite strict, but Chinese people generally compliant with the laws.
Yes, to be very honest with you, if you thought that South Africa is strict and Biggie Cele was strict, you need to experience China for just a week. People are just in orderly fashion. Everyone is just complying to the law. Everyone is just trying to put everybody's life
Yeah,
as a priority. We all respecting each other.
yeah.
Yes, there is that little bit of difference when you are a foreigner. However, I wouldn't necessarily complain much and say that we being ill-treated or anything like that. Yes, we've heard some rumors of things happening like that in bigger cities, but
Yeah.
I myself and many of the people around me have not experienced any sort of treatment. Yeah.
All right. In the city that you're in, are there quite a lot of expatriates from South Africa and other countries around the world?
Xining is not necessarily the biggest cities that you may find here in China. However, there are a fair number of South Africans that are in and around. And yeah, we get to communicate. We have WeChat groups that we are on. We get to meet up with each other. In fact, I was with a couple of South Africans and other African nationals last night, and we just loosening up as well.
How has the experience been for you? I mean, this is your first time in China and being away from home and things that you know so well, and you arrive in difficult circumstances. Has it been tough to adjust?
Um, to be very honest with you, I think that my first 2 weeks were a bit strenuous on the mind. You get to a country, they don't speak your language. the food is totally different. Maneuvering like through the city after I was let out of quarantine was slightly tricky, but if you have the right people to help you just to adjust to the country, it does make it slightly easier. But just being in a country that is totally different from the one that I'm from is never easy. It will never be easy.
All right. And again, remind us why you decided to get on a plane and go to China in the first place. I mean, you're a graduate. You studied, I think, HR.
That's correct. But if you literally just have to sit down and think about it, our country is in a dire position. South Africa is in a dire position in terms of employment for young people and so forth. To be very honest with you, a lot of young South Africans are taking opportunities abroad. I know that China's offering a lot of teaching positions that offer great amounts of money that people can actually send back home. And we just young people doing what we have to do in order to make sure that we are able to sustain and survive and provide for back at home and help out instead of being because if you really think about it very, very, very seriously, we come from black families where if you go and you study in a university and obtain your qualification and you come back without employment, you are looked at as a failure of some sort.
Yeah.
And we just doing what we have to do in order to just break away from that because it is heartbreaking to hear family or friends, neighbors, or the community just labeling you as a failure due to the fact that it's tough for you to get the type of employment that you want that will provide the type of money that you want in order for you to be able to provide back at home. So we just young people, again, I say young people that are doing what we have to do.
All right, so you struggled to get a job. Ofentse, we're going to leave it there for the time being, but hopefully we'll catch up with you on your adventures again in a future time. But thanks for your insights. 谢谢，再见。